obviously, I'm watching this show like everyone else. I don't know anything, but I did have the pleasure of watching the premiere with Brandon and Ty from last year. And it was us three guys and all the girls from this current season. So I saw some eyes and, certain looks. I think that there could have been some special connections between, some of my buddies and farmers that were on last year's and maybe the girls that were on this show if it didn't work out.
Episode 2 of Season 3 of Farmer Wants a Wife aired last Thursday, and my friends from last season, Sydney and Mitchell, had some thoughts.
I don't know, but I'm sure they shared a kiss even before sitting down at that conversation, and that's why John was like, oh, I thought this was going differently. But I don't know, I thought it was cool because they could still have a connection.
Hey, I'm Adison Haager, and this is our second recap and preview video for the Season 3 of Farmer Wants a Wife, where we're involving Season 2 couple, Farmer Mitchell and Sydney, their hot takes, and their perspective of behind the scenes of being on the show. Hit that thumbs up button if you're having fun with this style of video. We kicked off episode 2 with each farmer picking a gal to spend 24 hours with on the farm. But let's get real, this is a reality television show, so do they really get 24 hours of uninterrupted time?
It was 12 hours a day filming, and I think 12 hours or each day allotted to a couple minutes of TV time. So it's crazy actually how much they're filming and then how much footage they actually get out of it once it's edited. So yes, you do have 24 hours alone with the girl, but you're still following the rules of the show. So you're not truly alone. You're just alone with 30 cameras.
So it's truly not like all of a sudden cameras are off and you get this ample amount of time to get to know someone. Like the girl who is on the 24 hours, I think what fans want to know is is that really an advantage? I guess maybe a little bit, but it's not as pivotal as some might feel.
I think it's definitely an advantage that the girl that comes home early for the first date, they have more skin in the game. They get the first view and taste of the farm. But then that only adds that much more to them because they're going to have to keep that up the whole time. So it's a big wave of emotions when those other girls are pulling in the driveway because after those 24 hours alone, it's not going to be that same way anymore. You got some other hens in the coop, so you're definitely going to have some drama.
Now let's talk about the scene. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Samantha hardcore swung and avoided John's leaning in for a kiss. She expressed she didn't want to kiss on camera, knowing one day whether it's John or not, she doesn't want her husband seeing her kissing other men. Here's what Sid had to say.
So at first I was like, that's interesting, solely because that has never happened. We never had a girl say that. And then I was sitting back and I was like, you know what? I love this. There's no rules going on a reality TV show. You don't have to do this or that. And if that's something that she wasn't comfortable doing, I thought her reasoning was great, honestly. She's right. She is going to have a husband one day, whether it's him or someone else. And that was her morals. And I liked it. I thought it was different. I thought it was really true to herself. And I'm sure weeks prior, thinking about the show she was going to go on, I'm sure she made up her mind way long before that. It wasn't just in that moment, oops, I'm not going to kiss you. I think it was very thought out, and I think I thought it was kind of mature. I thought it was cool. I don't know, but I'm sure they shared a kiss even before sitting down at that conversation, and that's why John was like, oh, I thought this was going differently. But I don't know, I thought it was cool because they could still have a connection.
So what are your thoughts after hearing that? Go on, comment below. Okay, but also kissing on camera totally is not normal in real life.
First time kissing on camera, I was a little nervous, definitely, because you have to think in the back of your mind, the whole world is going to watch this. And especially her parents, so I want to be respectful in all ways. So, but at the end of the day, I think I understand where Sam, John's girl, was coming from. But for me and Sydney, we have nothing to worry about. So I'm glad I did all the kissing because I ended up with her,
For me, being the girl and knowing that Mitchell in this situation was going to, make the move on me, when we had our little date, our little 10-minute date at the Clemson Mixer, I knew what was happening. I knew sitting on that blanket that there was a smooch about to happen. And I was just preparing myself okay, everything's going to be okay. one little kiss isn't gonna kill anybody. There was literally, I remember the camera guy, he was laying down with his camera maybe 7 feet from us. Like, I might as well be kissing you too, like.
Giving you a little hint that you will want to stick around to the end of this video, because at the end of last week, I asked you to leave your comments, questions, concerns for Sydney and Mitchell, and I have them answer them at the end. Time code's in the description section if you just can't wait that long. Something I was seeing online was the comparison of Joy from last season with Farmer Brandon and the drama she stirred, to Samantha and the pot she seems to be stirring this season. Sydney had some thoughts.
I don't think they are the least bit alike, honestly. I think they're both so different, so beautiful. They have that in common. But Joy, like, on season 2, she had so many, like, comments saying about her and, like, how she's fake. Joy, on camera and off camera, are the exact same person. Like, the first time I met Joy, I'm like, okay, like, I'm feeling what everybody's feeling. I'm like, what's going on? And then I hang out with her. She snuck into my hotel room one night with all the girls, and she is just a ball of literal joy. Like, amazing. And yeah, I don't think her and Sam are alike in personality-wise. I think Sam's more straightforward and knows exactly what she wants and exactly why she's there. And Joy probably knew what she wanted to some extent and was just having fun, or at least trying to have fun.
I remember a moment very vivid last year filming, and we were eating lunch with Joy, was in line, and I asked her, I said, can you really not have any emotion for my boy Brandon? And she looked at me all seriousness off camera and said, that's just how me and my sister are. We don't show our emotion. And so for me, that was like one of those moments, just realizing, I guess there's different types of people out there in the world. Of course, I sort of wear my heart on my sleeve and you're gonna see my emotion in my face, but for her, that's just not who she was. So it's hard to read exactly how someone is from how they edit them off the show. Because like Sydney said, Joy is a great person. She's very kind, but at the same time, she wasn't going to show any emotion towards Brandon. And so for me, I hated seeing that because I knew that's what he wanted to be reciprocated, of course. I wouldn't say that Joy and Samantha are the same type of person.
Not sure if you noticed this, but on John's farm, he walks the ladies through his beautiful compound that we assume are the ladies' living quarters. All for me to see this post by his contestant, and then this moment from the episode of The Girls in It. So, what? Like John doesn't have enough rooms in that home?
For his instance, it sounded like that he lives with his family on the compound, so I don't see for TV purposes how the family would have carried on with their normal day of life with the girls being there. So truly, yes, that might be his home where he lives, but that's his family's home, and most importantly. So I think that they put their foot down and say, hey, we're still going to live our life here at our house, as they should, so the girls can go live somewhere else, but they're still on the grounds. So that's how I took it.
Tonight is episode 3, so here's what Sydney and Mitchell think might happen.
Based on how they showed the conversation with Colton and Taylor, I was cracking up. It was like they would clip to them like having super awkward conversation and like crickets, and then it would clip to her being like, I really like him, like I feel like we have such a connection. I couldn't stop laughing. So based on how they edited it, solely based on that, I feel like he's going to send her home. I don't think Jay is going to send anyone home yet. I feel like he's too sweet for that.
I'm Adison Haager. Thank you so much for watching. Here comes a Q&A like I promised of Sydney and Mitchell answering your questions. And don't forget, go on and comment below in this video. Your question might be answered in next week's video. So the first one I have for us is from Mindy Wellamy, who says, I'm curious. In the interview with Sydney on her show, she said when they were waiting in the motel, they didn't even know what farmer they would get to meet. I thought they chose what farmer they wanted, meaning like Sydney, you. That would have been a bummer if you ended up with a different farmer than you were hoping for. So Sydney, can you explain more? Because I know from the farmer's end, you're given kind of these sheets of all the girls. So on your end, can you clarify, like as a contestant on the show, like what knowledge y'all are given?
So the knowledge I was given was they emailed me weeks prior they emailed me 5 guys, farmer A, B, C, D, with a 30-second clip about them, and we would rank them 1 to 5. So, yeah, I might have ranked Mitchell as my number 1, but you never really knew who you were getting. When I got to the hotel, I waited 2 days, didn't know what farmer, and then the night before, the first day of filming, my producer, Jaya, she's my producer, that was the first time I met her. I didn't even know she was my producer at the time. She was just like, oh, hey, Sid, I'm Jaya. I'm going to show you your farmer. And she flipped the iPad and she was like, this is your farmer. His name's Mitchell. He's from Nashville, Tennessee. He's however old. And she was like, that's who you're going to meet tomorrow. I was like, whoa. I remember I saw his picture. I was like, yes.
Let's say I'm going on see this season of Farmer Wants a Wife, and I rank the guys however I rank them. In all reality, I could be kind of bummed if, let's say, my 1 was Matt and my 4th was, let's say, John, and you end up getting John and you're like, oh dang, I kind of wanted Matt. Like, in all reality, you could come on bummed. I'm not saying you were that or anyone, but just like,
I think they also go off of a lot of what the farmer wants, because how he ranked the girls 1 to 45, so they're looking at the farmer's list, comparing it to the girls, and probably favoring the farmer because he is, in a sense, the piece of meat.
I noticed when I first walked in the room and saw the other guys' girls, some of my girls that I ranked in order were in their groups. So they definitely let some of those fish swim in different ponds, if you will, is how I see it. So all for TV purposes.
The next one is from Claudia Witten 899, who says, how well do the girls in the houses get along? And so, Sydney, if you want to take this one.
For my farm, we got along so well. We never bickered. We shared 1 bathroom, and that's 5 girls. So for us to share 1 bathroom and not fight was amazing. They're truly my best friends. It was like, I never went away to college. I've never had roommates. So going there and having 4 girls all across the country, like all different walks of life, it was one of the best things that's ever happened to me, just being in a house with those girls. It was amazing, like life-changing, literally. But I know the other girls on the farms, I know they definitely had a lot of problems getting along, and that's why there was drama. Also, as soon as the 5 girls were picked, we were around a barrel. Actually, it was after the 5 girls were picked, filming was done. It was just us 5 in a room together. And we all sat down, we were eating dinner together, and we said to each other, we were like, we are not going to talk about our dates. We are not going to talk about what goes on between us and Mitchell. We're not going to talk about if we kissed, if we hugged, whatever. We're never speaking about that. And that's what we did. I remember my first kiss with Mitchell. I walked back over to the group of girls, and all 10 cameras were on us because they were waiting for me to say, oh, like, yeah, we just kissed. And I was not saying that because that's not what we agreed on. So I think I'm like going on and on. But I think the other girls on the farms had relationship issues because they let the relationship with their farmer get in the way of a friendship.
The next one I have for us is from Sally Stewart 4713, who says, and we kind of, I guess we didn't really touch on this, but have any of your season guys dated, have any of your season guys dating or dated any non-winners?
I think that was Miss Sally. That's a great question. I think that there's overlapping in seasons and there's overlapping on farms. Obviously, I'm watching this show like everyone else. I don't know anything, but I did have the pleasure of watching the premiere with Brandon and Ty from last year, and it was us 3 guys and all the girls from this current season. So I saw some eyes and, certain looks. I think that there could have been some special connections between, some of my buddies and farmers that were on last year's and maybe the girls that were on this show if it didn't work out. I truly don't know, but that would be cool.
Alrighty, I want to wrap up just with some sweet comments from some fans who watched the video. So this first one's from 159WW9, who says, I love Mitchell and Sydney. So great to have them share their experience and thoughts with us. So much fun to hear it. Thank you all.
Sweet.
Very heartwarming. Thank you.
Next one is from Cindy Roach 9989, who says, I hope Mitchell and Sydney get married on TV so we can all see it. They are such a lovely couple. No pressure.
Yeah, like let me strap a GoPro.
How do we feel about that?
Might as well.
Your sheep can have the GoPros, and as they're walking down the aisle, you can live stream it.
I think we've spent so much time on TV, that would be a hard bullet to bite to, let our whole wedding be filmed. But I definitely would love to share with America special photos or moments, of that day. But I think that our wedding will be private.